Welcome to my new boat. This is an exciting day. We're on the water. I'm going to show you guys around my brand new 2026 Lund 1875 Pro Guide. I am so excited to be running this boat this year. So today I'm going to walk you through this boat. This is an absolute fishing machine. And in the meantime, we're going to try to catch some fish too. So let's go have a fun day breaking in the new 1875 Lund Pro Guide. I'm on a lake that I'm not super familiar with in the open water. Just haven't spent much time out here, but there's great populations of walleye, largemouth, crappies, bluegills, and just all sorts of stuff. It's great fishery. I just haven't spent much time out here, so it's a learning experience today. Let's get to fishing. All right. Plan number one. There's a lot of weeds in here, but there's gonna be fish in these weeds, so I'm just gonna burn down the bank with a chatterbait and see if there's any bass or walleyes living up in here. Get the walleye, guys. Get the net. Yes! First fish of the boat, fellas. Walleye on a chatterbait. Can't make it up. Yes. Look at that right there. First fish in the new Lund Pro Guide. Chatterbait, walleye. Oh man, what is that? That is gross. Little tumor on them. Get her back. There we go. That's a good start right there. I want to keep fish today, but that thing had a weird growth on its cheek, and it's about 20-inch fish. I don't really like keeping fish over 19 and a half. All right, I want to show you around this Pro Guide here a little bit, and the thing that caught my eye the most when looking at this boat and picking it out was just how much space there is here for an 18-foot boat. You know, it's not a massive boat, but there is just more room in here than I even know what to do with. Obviously, we've been fishing up front on the front casting deck. That deck is huge. I could easily fish multiple people up there. There's a ton of storage up there, and it's so versatile. You know, whether you want to be up front casting for bass, for muskies. I run my forward-facing sonar off the trolling motor. If I have a guest in the boat, I like having that guest up there fishing off the forward-facing sonar with me, and there's plenty of room to do that. But at the same time, if you're a guy who likes to drag live bait or just fish in the back of his boat or back troll or troll crankbaits, this boat is totally set up for that too. You have so many options. This can be a walleye boat, a crappie boat, a muskie boat, a bass boat. It doesn't matter. But let's go up front. I'll show you around the front deck a little bit and how I have this set up. Right away, we've got storage. We've got our center rod locker right here. Then we've got these two little compartments right here. And these are real slick. I've got my rain gear in here right now. They're not huge, but they're pretty slick. What I'm thinking is for guests in the boat to be able to put their rain gear or their tackle or whatever odds and ends they have, just keep that open for any guests, because I've got plenty of other storage up here. Keep moving along. This is our bow live well, which I'm actually just going to use as a cooler this year, I think. I don't really need two live wells. The rear live well is plenty big. We've got side storage here where I've got my life jackets, some bumpers, rope. There's an anchor in there. So we're nice and legal. Then we come over here. This thing is just massive. I've got my 50 amp hour lithium. I've got my black box mounted in there. And then I've got a ton of tackle, and I've got room for more. I could rearrange this a little bit and get even more storage. Come up front here, I've got Garmin EchoMap Ultra 2 10-inch screen. That's what my live scope is on. And then I've got an EchoMap 9-inch UHD2 that I'm just running a map on. And then the Minnkota Ultrex. And the Ultrex has just been a beast so far. A couple times I've been on the water, as you can see, this has been incredibly windy, and this thing's had no problem. It's hardly used up any battery. I'll be curious at the end of today how much battery I've used. It's not popping out of the water, super easy to deploy, and it just cuts through this wind like crazy. It's ridiculously responsive because it's that cable drive. I mean, just look how fast that thing spins. that's the thing I really like about it, especially because I have my forward-facing sonar mounted to the shaft of that Ultrex. Then I've also got this little compartment up here that is, right now it's got some wiring in it, completely empty. So I've got more space to tuck some more odds and ends. Then we've got some cargo netting, which is really slick. I've got my transducer cover in that one, and I've got my nav lights tucked in there, but I can tuck some other odds and ends into that. Fuel fill-ups on the same size as my pickup, which is really slick, but there's just so much space up here. All right, well, if we keep moving to the back of the boat here, we've got our side storage, which right now I've got all my soft plastics in. We've got more cargo netting here. So I've got my cushion stowed right here, my throwable, because legally you're required to have that out and accessible at all times. So I just tuck it in that netting. I've trailered with it there, I've ran with it there, no problem. So it's always out and available, don't have to worry about that. It's a whole bunch of different ways you can configure your seats in this boat too. So we've got 2 spots right there on the base of the casting deck. So if you're a crappie fisherman, you've got 2 guys wanting to fish out each side, you've got that option. Or if you want, you can put that 1 seat right in the center up front, and then same thing in the back. You've got 3 spots in the middle here. You just have so many options as to what you want to do with this boat. You can take all the seats out and open this up if you're by yourself. It's just so dang versatile. Now back to the specialty of this boat. Obviously it's a tiller. You're a tiller guy. A lot of you like to live bait rig or troll or just fish out of the back of the boat. Maybe you like to back troll them. This boat is completely set up to do that too. That's not something that I specialize in or like to do all the time, but I love the fact that I have the option to do it really, really well. So first off, I'm sitting in a big Lund captain's chair. These armrests are unbelievable. It reclines. So I need to take a little snooze, I can take a little snooze. My dad absolutely loved that the other day. These armrests are adjustable. You just twist right here and they go up and down. It's so nice and comfortable. So especially if you're a guy who likes to live bait rig, you may never have to get up out of this chair. Because he also, right here, we have more rod storage right to my right here. This lift right up here, this comes up like that. You can get at least 5 more rods in here and my anchor lights in here. Grab my rod, say I'm live bait rigging. Now I come back here, my bait well is right on my left side. I grab my minnow, close that up, boom, we're fishing. I've got my 2 graphs mounted right here. Got my speedometer, fuel gauge, radio controls, all my light switches, all my Livewell switches, all that stuff. And then I've got these 2 drawers, which I've got full of kind of just miscellaneous stuff. I keep my phone there. I've got extra sunglasses, some tools, scale, but some people put all their tackle right there. So you could have all your tackle, boom, boom, you're fishing, you got to re-rig, okay, grab your scissors, retie. You never have to stand up. Catch a fish, your Livewell's right here. And the back, right next to the Livewell, I've got another storage compartment. So much storage, I'm probably gonna move some things around. So if you watch some more videos later on in the year, you might see some things in different spots. I'm gonna mess around, experiment a bunch with it. There's just so many dang options with how you can configure this boat. When you buy this boat brand new, they wait to mount your driver's seat here. You get it to where it fits for you. This boat is made for you to be able to do whatever you want to do in the fishing world. Boat also has FM, AM radio, Bluetooth, aux cord. Listen to the Fish Hunt Forever podcast while you're on the water, or your favorite music, or just turn the radio on. We've got 2 speakers up front here. Behind these graphs, I also have 1 more storage compartment, which I've got just some more tackle in. But what's really neat about this is it's designed to be for your graphs. So if I come right here, take that off, keep this open, I grab this handle right here, that folds down into that compartment. So whether I'm trailering or I'm at a hotel and I want to protect that, because this compartment locks, I can get my graphs down in there, keep them locked and safe. These Garmins are easy enough to pop off. I opted to use this for storage for now, but we might monkey around with that a little bit later. This boat's got vinyl floor down in the cockpit area, so if you spill any drinks or anything, it's really easy to wash down. But I also love the fact it's got carpet on the decks and up where I'm gonna fish. I really like the feel of carpet. It just feels a little homier, a little cozier. So another really cool feature of this boat is how little wood there is. The transom is all composite, and most of the flooring isn't wood at all either. There's a little bit of wood in the front deck. Otherwise, this boat is built to last. You don't have to worry about a ton of wood in here rotting away in a few years. I've also got this little cubby under the side rod locker storage, which I've got my bump board. Again, there's more room for other stuff in there. The 1875 Pro Guides, their max horsepower rating is a 90 horsepower, which is smaller than the last motor I had, and it's always hard to go to a smaller motor than you had before. But I'll tell you what, right now with gas prices, I'm not mad about it. It's a 90 horsepower 4-stroke Mercury. It's super quiet. I could pull this with my 1/4 ton that I drive. I could fish just about anywhere, and I'm gonna save on gas than running a big 300 or 250 or whatever it might be. So I'm still in my break-in period, so I haven't opened up the throttle wide open a whole lot yet. But its max speed's supposed to be somewhere around 36 to 39 miles an hour. The official length of the boat is 18 feet, 10 inches with a 93-inch beam. There's so much space here. I can't emphasize that enough. Maximum capacity is 6 people. Right now I've only got 3 batteries in the boat, one for my starting battery, which is actually right here at my feet, super easy to get at if I need to, and then 2 that are under the rod locker that are powering my Ultrex right now. The Ultrex Quest, it's brushless, so it's super quiet, but it also is flexible, so if you want to, you can run it as a 36-volt system. Right now I'm just running it as a 24. I've had no problems with it, but I have the option to upgrade if I need to. But pretty nice to get away with only 2 batteries, but there's room for a 3rd, and it'd be pretty easy to swap it and just drop in another one. We've got that 45-degree sport track. There's so many accessories that I'm gonna be able to get for the sport track too, whether it's cup holders, tool holders, rod holders. It just screws right into this track super easily. You're not drilling holes into your boat to add these things, and you can slide it literally anywhere along the edge of the boat that you want. I'm sure there's things I'm missing, because there's just so many bells and whistles and little nuances to how this boat is built that makes it so nice to fish out of. If there's anything in this boat that you want to see more in depth, or that you want to see another video on or get more info on, drop in the comments below, let me know. We can talk more about some other things. For now, let's get back to fishing. Wind has really picked up here, and it's coming right up the chute. This lake is long and narrow, and it's coming right up the pipe. Water's really dirty up here. We might try to go find some cleaner water. I don't know if we're gonna ever get out of this wind, but you know, I can't say enough good things about this Ultrex right now, fishing in the wind like this. If you download the One Boat Network app, you can actually run this entire thing from your phone. It acts like a remote. I have a remote as well, but you're able to do some of the calibration and mess with some of the settings on the motor right on your phone, and as well as driving it. When you deploy the Ultrex Quest, it automatically points straight ahead, so you're ready to go forward, no spinning it. And vice versa, when you go to stow it, it automatically turns the head, so it's oriented perfectly to stow. So you don't have to step on the pedal and get it to turn and line everything up. It's really streamlined the process of stowing and deploying it. Not that it was hard before, but just little things like that making things so much easier. Really a fan of it. There's a fish. It's a white bass. That is not what I thought that was going to be. White bass on a chatterbait. That's funny. Kind of cool fish. Not at all what I thought was going to be in there. I forgot what I was saying. I was mid-thought with something about the Ultrex. You know, this is just such a unique time to fish. Walleye should be post-spawn here. Largemouth should be pre-spawn. You know, the water's gotten up to 56 degrees today. There's so many weeds in this lake. Trying to dissect it all in one day is really difficult, especially when it's blowing like this. It's probably blowing 20, 25 right now, and I'm having no problem going into the wind as fast as I want to. You know, if you were a guy who liked to troll bottom bouncers or spinners, you would have absolutely zero issue going into this wind right now, just using the Ultrex. Well, let's remember, this is a tiller. You're meant to fish out of the back and use that Mercury. You know, there's a lot more I can talk about this Ultrex Quest that I haven't even gotten into. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a video on my thoughts on the Quest so far, and deep dive into more of the features like drift mode, and because there's just some really, really cool things that you can do on these motors, and it's pretty dang impressive. It's fun, you know, that Brett's got his boat too, his Impact, and he's got the Kraken on it, so throughout the season we're going to be able to compare and contrast the two and see which one we like better. Because I've got the power to do it, I'm working into the wind, it's a little more bouncy, and you know, if you let off the foot pedal at all, you're gonna lose some momentum and whatnot, but this Quest just has so much power to cut through it. And this way too, if I catch one, I can hit spot lock, we're not gonna move, and the boat's not gonna spin around. You know, if we were going with the wind and I were to hit spot lock, the boat's gonna do a 180 because it wants to point the nose into the wind to hold it in location. So it's one of those little things that might not make a difference, but kind of nice to catch a fish and be able to fight it without having to worry about the boat going anywhere too. And having the boat spin 180 degrees on you while you're trying to land a fish is not exactly ideal. Another walleye. Look at that. That one is gonna come home with us. Just crushed it, chatterbait. Oh, that is fun. Look at that, not bad. So this is something else I wanna show you. Just got this from Drake Hurd the other day from Fin Gear and Rig Right. And it's this bag that goes in your Livewell. Open her up, we've got this bag in here. It fits almost perfectly in there. So the fish can still swim around a bit. And then when I'm done fishing for the day, I just have to grab the bag, these two handles, pull it right out, and go up to wherever I'm gonna clean fish. So pretty slick for tournaments, pretty slick for cleaning fish too. And one thing I didn't mention about that Livewell before is it has a divider in it too, which at first I didn't really care about or didn't think I would ever use, but the more I thought about it, the more I thought how nice it would be before I had that bag to be able to stick that divider in and just shrink down the amount of space those fish have to swim around when you're trying to grab them to go clean them. Or if you're in a state like Wisconsin where it's illegal to party fish and you're fishing with multiple people, you have to be able to keep track of which fish are yours because you can't combine your limits. So you use that divider, okay, the left side's for Dan, the right side's for Brett, or whatever it might be, and keep your fish separate. So pretty slick. I pulled mine out, threw that bag in there. If we ever go to a state where we can't party fish or something, I'll put that divider back in, but pretty handy. Otherwise, you could use the front and rear Livewell, or if you had 3 people, you could use a front Livewell for 1 guy and 2 guys in the back. So just, again, gives you so many options with this boat. All right, before I get out of here, to keep moving down the shoreline, I have a slip bobber set up. I have some leeches. Just gonna drop one in here and let it drift back and see if we can't get a bite on that. There's a fish. Just as I turned my GoPro off to check it, bobber went down. Go figure. Let's see what we got. Another walleye. I grabbed the net. First cast with the slip bobber. Well, I've got supper. A wild play tonight. I've got some Chef Roberts at home. I don't know if we should do some Cajun or some lemon pepper. It's a little perfect eater right there. First cast with the slip bobber. We might be onto something here. Well, that happened so fast. First cast with the slip bobber. You know, that's exactly how I was hoping this would go here. Burn the bank down with that chatterbait. Find some fish and slow down and pick it apart like this. So we'll see if there's any more in here. Fish off. Little eater. I'll take it. I'm hungry. How about that for just coming out and experimenting and just trying to show you the boat. That was the goal, was to catch a few fish and show you the boat. But now I've got some walleyes to eat and some Chef Roberts tonight, and really excited for the summer ahead. This is going to be a lot of fun. You know, Brett's got an 1875 Impact. I've got the 1875 Pro Guide, so we're going to be comparing and contrasting. It's going to be a lot of fun to figure out what we like about these boats. If you're interested in a boat like this, get a hold of anyone at Ray Sport and Marine. I can't thank the crew in Alexandria enough for working their tails off the week before opener to make sure this boat was ready to go for me on opener. So huge shout out to them. And if you're interested in this exact boat, if this is something you like, this boat will be available at the end of the fishing season. So it's going to be a lot of fun this summer. We're going to be fishing a ton out of the Pro Guide and the Impact, and can't wait for what's in store. Thanks for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe. We'll see you on the next video.